Hi guys. So we are back with the intermediate part of the pivot table assignment. In the basic part, what we did was we added some random data for about 4 dates and 4 employees for electronic products. And then we understood how do you make a pivot table on the small set of data. But generally when pivot tables are used, you have about thousands of rows with a lot of data and many columns. So to understand how to do this, wherein you have data in a separate Excel file and you just want to do some analytics over this data and get a pivot table that helps you read the data in a very readable format, we are going to use something called as a different feature on pivot tables. So for that, first we'll create a random data set. We'll store it in a separate Excel file and then use this data and create a pivot table over it. So let's start by creating an Excel file for this. Let's just name it sample data for a table. Now, so I have some random data already with me. You can create your own data set. So I'm just going to give it some column headers and then we're good to go. This will be salesperson, electronics, category, the quantity, the average unit cost of the appliance, and also we need the sales amount. So yeah, and for the sales amount we have to calculate this again like we did in the basic worksheet. You have the sales amount right here. So we are good to go now. We have a lot of data. Now that you have the data ready, we have to convert the whole data set into a table. We need to format this as a table. So to format this as a table, just go to format as table and select my data has the headers should be ticked because we have already added the column headers for the tables. So now that you have this in place, our data set is ready. So we have about 1000 rows in this. As you can see, there are about 998 rows in our data set. So we can use this now to create a pivot table. So let's just save this. Let's create a new sheet and then naming it. Now that we have the data set ready, let's create the pivot table. So go to insert, go to pivot table. Now we have our table in a different source. It's not in the same worksheet. So we can't give it a range directly. So what you can do is you can go to use an external data source, choose a connection and browse for the worksheet. So currently I have the worksheet on my desktop. Sample data. Let's open that up. If you see, it detected the worksheet here, which was a table. Just select that and it will put the pivot table at location B2 in sheet 1. So we have this box highlighted here. Click OK. You have the pivot table control here. Now, as you can see here, the column headers have been populated and now you can create the pivot table as per you require. So you can still try doing the same as we did last time. Let's put electronics category in row labels, then the salesperson in column labels, the date in row labels, and let us have quantity instead of the sales amount like we did in basic. So let us add the quantity in the values. As you can see here, now I can just minimize this and see how many electronics were sold in all of these time periods. So 2018, we had about 255 computers sold by all of the employees in total. So this helps you give you an overall analysis over a set of data which has about 1,000 rows, and even you can have a lot more number of rows and columns in this set and have more versatile pivot tables with a lot of data. And you can also add filtering to this. So this will help you gain an insight over huge chunks of data sets.